I came to Halifax for school, and it's a very long story how I got here. Myself, at times I feel it's wonderful, but it's quite strange and it's miraculous that I found myself here.
Finally, brethren, after a while,
anybody who knows me very well knows my family and my background back home in Ghana and Tamil to be precise, will be very surprised that a boy from a very poor home like I am is able to come here to school.
no more. Finally, brethren, after a while, the battle will be over. For that day when we shall lay down our burden and study war no more.
My name is Abdul Somed Shahadu. Abdul Somed is my first name and Shahadu is my surname. But I have an African name, Bitamzimili, which is also a family name. I remember when I was in high school, my hobby was writing. I did a lot of writing articles, and even whilst in high school, you will not believe that my articles were being published in the National Daily. She basically does petty trading to survive, and she earns less than $1 in a day, if I must be very frank with you. So when I completed school and had nothing doing, not going to school, I asked myself, why don't you try to develop a bit on your talent in writing?
Finally, brethren, after a while, the battle will be over.
Back in high school, I was a leading speaker of the school debating club. I used to debate on stuff, and so I was quite vocal and eloquent, and so I decided to go into radio as well.
The day when we shall lay down our burden and study war no more.
But unfortunately, I didn't have any journalism certificate to back my application, so it was turned down. I wasn't given the chance. People didn't have the trust in me. But I walked to the manager of that radio station and told him, please, although I don't have a journalism certificate, I have a talent that I think could be very helpful to you and I in this business. So if you could just give me a chance, not even if you won't employ me, with my zeal for this work, I would accept an offer to do an internship, even if not paid. She realized I had something to offer my community, my people, and Ghana, and for that matter. And so she encouraged me. She told me, Somed, with the way you are writing and the English you're speaking, I'm very optimistic that you can make it at a high level. She told me a lot of things about King's University and told me how good the school was. And she told me with my talent, I could even get help from the school to study. But I thought that was bullshit. How could that happen? You know, Somed in Canada? No. I never thought it could. But after some time, I said, why don't I try? But I needed to pay 26,000 Canadian dollars to come to King's. My God, how can I ever raise that money? It was a hell, so I just threw it somewhere and pursued my ambitions at the Ghana Institute of Journalism.
Finally, brethren, after a while, the battle will be over. For that day when
So some few months later, I wrote someone the email. I told her I got admission from the University of King's, but I just dumped it because the money they are quoting, I can't ever afford it. And Sam told me, what? You got the admission? King's is a very, very reputable school. It is very hard to come by admission. So for you to get an admission from King's, it speaks something of you. This is something you must pursue. Don't dump it.
no more. Finally, brethren, after a while,
I needed to contribute. So I used the power of the pen. I wrote an article to enter into a scholarship, it's a competition in Kings. And God being by my side, I won a scholarship from Kings.
And study war no more. Finally, brethren, after a while.
The coldest in Tamale would be somewhere plus 27, plus 30.
Well, it was in September, so for me, it wasn't cold at all.
But the first day I got here, it was plus 10. And I say, my God, what is this? Can I survive this weather?
I think that mentally he was preparing for the difference, but when he actually experienced it, it was still quite a shock to him.
I remember I told Elizabeth, this is very cold. I don't know how I'm going to survive this. And she told me I'll be fine. Little did I know I was going to experience worse cold, up to negative degrees. The day I first experienced snow was quite wonderful. I was anxious. One of my colleagues told me, do you know it's snowing outside? I said, my goodness, let me rush out and see. So I quickly went out, and the whole outside was whitish. And, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. In that night, most of our friends in school came out for a snowball fight, which I heavily involved in because it was one of the best things that has ever happened to me in my life. My primary goal is to equip myself with the requisite knowledge and experience that would enable me to go home and make a change. As I speak to you now, there are thousands of young people who bear the same story as me, rotting in Tamale, where I come from, just because of poverty. So my challenge is to go back there and unearth those talents that are wasting and rotting back home. People hardly send cases to court because they don't even know what the court can offer. They don't know what their rights are. They don't know they are being abused. They don't know the situation they are facing is an abuse. So they relax with it and they live with it. They accept it as a norm. Imagine just have your father beat up your mother in your eyes and say all sort of nonsensical things to her and never give you money for food, and you have to starve at times.
No more.
The poor treatment of girls affected my mother, and that transcended to me. And so I wanted to stop that chain of abuse and bring sanity to the culture and create opportunities for young people. I don't want to fail the trust and confidence of the people back home who are looking up to me for inspiration. So my primary goal is to learn hard, make a mark in Canada at the University of Kings and in Halifax like I did back home, so that it will further inspire my peers back home that no matter what situation in which you find yourself, no condition is permanent. You have the power to change your own life like I am changing mine.
The battle will be over. For that day